actor audition take 1. We have Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mario.
Luigi, I found this feather. It gave me a cape. Yeah, I'm flying.
Cut.
Next up, we have Jimmy Stewart as Kratos for the God of War movie.
Oh boy, we gotta kill some gods. Oh, this axe sure is heavy, but boy, do those gods make me so mad.
Cut. Next up, we have Christopher Walken, Assassin's Creed. Take 1.
Oh, I gotta fall asleep in a science bed so I can go back in time and assassinate the Pope.
Cut.
Up next, we have Kermit the Frog as Batman. Kermit the Frog as Batman, take 1.
I am vengeance. I am the night. Yay!
Cut. Next up, we have Tom Holland, Uncharted series. Take 1.
Hey, everyone!
No, cut.
That.
That will never work. Ever.
Cue the music, David.
Get us in there. And we're back.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, yay!
Kermit the Frog's here.
Oh, hello, Dan.
Did you get the part?
I did not.
Oh.
I am not as vengeful as I thought.
The entire time I was rooting for you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
You know what I think was the big problem?
What?
Your face in the mask. Like, it was obviously you as a frog in a Batman mask.
I guess I'll go back to the swamp.
The swamp playing the banjo.
Why are there so many bad casting calls? And why can't I land a job?
Why are my movies always rebooted? And
Oh yeah,
nobody
poor
seems
Kermit.
to care. Jason Segel tried.
He tried. It was all right.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back for another fun episode
of fan fiction. We have to say the name all the time.
I was pointing at you to say it.
Repetition.
You were supposed to say it this time. I said it
pointed at
last
you.
time.
You can't keep pointing at me.
Okay.
Anyways, thank you all for coming back. We missed you.
I did. I was starting to cry a little bit in my bed every night.
I know. You should
Thinking
see
about
his
all the
pillows.
people I missed.
Stained yellow.
Oh, they're gross.
Just real yellow.
I like to keep my tears.
I like to sleep with my eyes open. So
I won't
feel
even
like
tell
the
you where my worry
the
journal
tears
is.
are going back in my eyes. It's a whole circle of tears.
It's a circle of life tears.
So everyone, again, thank you for coming back. Welcome to the episode. It's a special episode.
It is.
We have like a little bit of a
bit of everything. It's kind of like a charcuterie of that's a fancy way of saying charcuterie.
Oh.
Well, the correct way because it's French, but whatever. Glasses push up.
For this episode, we're taking a little bit of a turn. We're not picking just one franchise and going to town on it. Thoughts, feelings, and emotions. We are going to go ahead and do movies. Multiple movies that have become video games. So it has. For the first part of this, it has to be movies that were movies. You
know what? I'll even
first.
say TV shows or movies, something in the moving pictures before it was an actual video game.
Then the video games came off of that.
Correct.
So we have a list of a couple that we wanted to talk about.
Either ones we have played in the past that we loved. That's what we're going to start out with, is ones we grew up with, we loved, and we went to town on.
Yeah.
And Dan, would you like to start us off?
No, I actually wouldn't. No, because mine is going to take about 45 minutes.
That's a good point.
Longer.
Yours is
so we'll save mine to the
heartfelt.
very end. If anyone knows me, if you think it's that, yes, it's going to be that. But I digress. Matthew, let's kick the bucket. Let's start this whole thing off.
I'm surprised you thought everybody would think you'd pick Space Jam, but all right.
Hey, here's your chance. Do your dance at the Space Jam. All right.
Oh, is that the red light? It's our time's over?
First of all, that soundtrack was fire.
Oh, the soundtrack was amazing.
Like, you hit him high, hit him high, hit him high.
Yeah. I mean,
and I hit him low, hit him low.
They had such great artists on there. It was, if you can find the Space Jam original album, just buy it. Just buy it right now.
It's on vinyl.
Is it really?
No, I'm sure it is.
Oh, geez. I was like,
but like, it's 2022. Who buys CDs? Like, just either digitally download
that's true.
or buy the vinyl.
I can't think of anybody.
If you bought the CD, you've,
you need to rethink your life.
Yeah, get your shit together.
But no, I'm going to start off with a fun franchise that I think everybody should pretty much know.
Movie-wise or
movie-wise?
Movie-wise, okay.
That turned into a game, and that would be Jaws.
Never heard of it.
Really? It's about that friendly shark
that's in that bay.
Flipper?
That helps people out by, slowly trying to help them swim by its teeth and
Free
stuff.
Willy.
Jaws.
I feel like I'm close.
You're so close.
Okay.
It's not a whale. It's not a dolphin. It's a
But-
shark.
Of course, everyone knows Jaws.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm not super familiar with the game.
Right.
So, Matt, why don't you give us a couple points on it?
Right. So Jaws started out as an NES game way early on, back in the day in the old timer era of the 80s.
Back in my day.
Back in my day, we had
two
sharks.
buttons to start selecting a D-pad.
I mean, you pretty much nailed
That
it.
was it, yeah.
And a cartridge that barely worked.
And if it didn't work, you just blew on it till it did.
So I grew up a lot. I spent probably about 1 year of every summer of my life growing up at my grandma's house.
Sure.
And she happened to have an NES at her house. And my cousins would randomly buy and leave random games behind, or sometimes we rent stuff. And we had one at our house too. But I remember somebody had left the Jaws game at my grandmother's house. And I'm like, I didn't even know Jaws had a game.
Yeah.
And so I popped it in. And of course, it does the classic soundtrack.
Ask,
And you're like, okay.
How does that soundtrack, which is a huge
Oh,
part of the
yeah.
movie, translate to like blips and chips? Like,
In the chip bit sound, it's like, no, it just goes and it's just that for like 3 minutes straight. But it sounds pretty good actually.
for the NES?
Yeah. Like
How-
look at when you got time, everybody look it up, like the old 8-bit NES like Jaws theme and or like cartridge art. It's actually really good for its
Really?
time.
Do you play as the shark?
No.
Oh,
That's
missed
later.
opportunity.
No, see, I disagree. I thought it was so much more fun because you actually play as like one of the scientists or like divers or whatever. You're just like a random diver, I think. And your goal is you start in this little bay and it's kind of like for some reason. So in the movie, it's like over in
Martha's
like
Vineyard.
Martha's
right?
Vineyard, yeah, over on the East Coast. And like,
Shout out to Ashley.
shout out to Ashley Ledford if she's listening. And John, we didn't forget about you. But anyway, they're out there with that shark. But anyway.
Keep going.
Anyway, so like Martha's Vineyard is actually like a nice, beautiful little landscape. It's like a little bay area. In this game, they give you like a weird rocky coastal for everything to kind of like trap you in this little tiny sandbox.
Of course.
So you can go anywhere you
It's
want.
a sandbox?
Kinda.
Really?
Yeah.
For the NES?
Yeah, it was.
I'm impressed.
This is why I loved it growing up because it was such ahead of its time, I felt. Because every other game was like a platformer or like a side scroller. This
Yeah.
one was like
2D
over the
jumper.
top. You were like looking over, you had a little boat that you went around with, and you had a radar. And every time you would go somewhere, you would hit something and you'd have to go dive to see what you hit.
Because whenever there's a shark infestation, jumping in the water and seeing what's up is like the
Sure,
best way
why
to
not?
like investigate.
Well, you see, Dan, you had to collect starfish to pay for upgrades.
shut up.
Yeah, dead serious.
Of course.
Why not? Because
I
you're in the
love
ocean.
early NES games.
I,
I love it. I'm in love with this
silly
game already.
video game logic.
Yeah.
But so you'd hit things as you went, and it would like, oh, check it out. Sometimes you just get starfish and like little baby sharks that were easy to kill. Other times,
Easy to kill.
right. Other times, Jaws, this big shark would just show up out of nowhere and just start wrecking you because you didn't have any upgrades in the early game. You're like, oh my God, what do I do? And it's just chasing you across the screen. And if you don't kill it, you're pretty much dead, or you have to like run back up to your boat.
Okay. Well, that's the plot of the movie, right?
So like,
pretty
the
spot on.
movie is a horror game, and so is, or a movie is the horror base, and so is this.
Okay.
Where you would go along. If you didn't hit something, you have a little radar blip and it would go blump, 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 blump. And if it got close, it would just get faster and harder. And I swear to God, it would freak me out.
Really? How old were you when you? Or how old? were you
Oh,
when
I
you
was
played this?
super young, like 10 or 11.
Okay.
Not to mention, when it started really, like the radar started going crazy, you would see his fin pop up.
Uh-oh.
And it would start chasing your boat like in and out of the water. And it was freaky.
Okay.
And the cool part was you kind of had to go from like one end of the map to the other. And they had little harbors. And going into those harbors, you would actually, that's where you would buy your upgrades, but you had to touch one and the other. You can't touch the base back.
Were any of the upgrades like missile launcher or like, you know?
Not missile launcher per se, but there were like cannonball upgrades.
Okay.
So you could, so the minute Jaws appears on the thing, you're in your boat. The minute Jaws appears, he has a chance to hit your boat by going at it.
Sure.
You can't really dodge him the boat, but you do get a chance to get some damage in before he hits you.
Sure.
With those upgrades, it made it real easy to kill him. However, beforehand, you were just in the water. Hope you got a good gun. You get like a little spear gun you shoot.
So have you beat it?
Oh, sure. It's not a very hard game. It's more just like it beats you up psychologically.
Okay. Just
And then
one
there
of
was
those
like
games you really you go
Yeah.
to bed and you're just like still playing.
Oh, yeah. No, it was. I remember for that day and age, I was like, wow, that is pretty intense.
11-year-old man,
From
like,
a-
this game's blowing my mind, man.
For an 11-year-old, I was like, oh my God, that shark is so close.
And it's like just a gray pixel with
it's a little gray, like 3x3
white
pixel.
pixel
Yeah.
and like one little tooth pixel.
Looking back, I now see the silliness that, scared the hell out of me back then. But
But back then, like when we were kids, like remember like any new game coming out blew our minds.
that is true. But
remember-
but to close up on that Jaws thing, the last thing about it was like they had a bonus stage where like certain things would fly in the air and you had to hit them with the cannonballs.
You had to shoot. Wait, whoa. Okay, back up.
Yeah.
Cannons are
Yeah.
now part of your ship.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And now we're no
Clearly,
longer,
it wasn't part of the movie.
Wait, so we're no longer worried about the shark. There's now airborne predators that are now.
Well, I don't think
a
they were predator.
problem?
I think it was just like other starfish. And I can't remember
Why are the
exactly.
starfish in the sky?
I don't know. But but actually, when you
I'm
actually do get
super intrigued by this game.
oh, seriously, look it up. It's a joy. And then it would play like this really flighty, like fun fanfare music while you were doing it. I'm like, this is a weird, hard left turn from what I'm seeing in the other game where there's zero music and it's just a creepy radar like in Silent Hill
yeah,
going off. And then on top of that, you only had to use the cannon one last time to kill Jaws off.
sure.
So when you get him to 0 health, it'll go to like a screen where he's just coming straight at you,
He's coming
like
right
first
for
person
us.
view.
Yeah.
And that you had to hit him with the cannon. You do like a little thing in the water when you hit him.
Oh,
So it was actually a really great game ahead of its time. And it wasn't until later when they brought in what you were talking about earlier with like You Are the Shark.
yeah.
And those started out really dumb. Oh, let me back up. The second game after the first one was like you also play as scientists and you had to. It was kind of like a boring.
Sure.
Yeah, it was a boring like I'm a scientist. Here's my job thing. Like, oh, you got to pay for equipment and people. Oh, you got to spear gun the Jaws, and it was really bad.
I wish it was like super psychological to where like, Jaws is coming right for you and you shoot him for the last shot. The cannon goes right between his eyes, which is basically his nose at that
Yeah.
point. And he like sinks down and all of a sudden like a whole bunch of little baby sharks all come around him and they're like, you killed our daddy. Like we have no means of like protection. Like he was our only thing. Why would you do this?
Even worse, they just sit there and go, "Mama,
Yeah. And then like,
Mama."
will you take care of us now? And you're like, well, great. Now I'm the father to like 9 sharks.
The end is just to be continued?
Question mark.
Oh, geez.
And then you have to like, and then it's the Kingdom Hearts 2 where you have to get a
Oh,
job to
wow.
like support the
right,
sharks.
you spend the first 3 hours like finding money to get sea salt ice cream to feed these sharks.
I love it.
But no, yeah, the fast forward through all the rest of them though. I mean, after the first and second one, especially the weird second one where you got to be role play as a scientist, the rest of them are literally just play as Jaws and eat things.
Yeah.
And it kind of gets boring after that. But
Yeah,
the
but
first
like,
one's so good.
I'm sure it gets boring, but like being able to play as the shark
Oh,
for like
I mean,
at
it's
least
cool.
15, 20 minutes. I mean, you're just having a hoot.
Right. I
Like,
mean,
you're
don't get me
just
wrong.
Murdering left and right.
Right. The gameplay's great. Essentially, they just took the plot of the 3D movie where Jaws breaks through like the
Starring
water tunnel.
Dennis Quaid.
Starring Dennis Quaid. And they just made that into a game. Like,
Okay.
play-wise, it's fun. Story-wise, you're kind of bored.
Do I ever get to play as Michael Caine?
I don't think so.
Well, then I'm out. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
I
sorry.
have very few standards when it comes to video games, and if I don't get to play as Michael Caine, then why am I here?
Oh, that shark is coming toward me.
Oh, that shark. That's the worst. After all those beautiful impressions
Oh,
we
that's-
just dropped, we
oh, that
dropped the ball
shark.
on the Michael Caine one.
I won't forget you, shark.
I want to do it like I wish I could do a better impression like of like when he's crying over Bruce Wayne's
Oh,
grave.
jeez,
He's like,
yeah.
I just wish I had been a better father to you. And it's just like you look down and it's like the dead shark just like sitting on land. They didn't even bury it. Like
Cannonball stuck in his head.
it's like gills like flapping back and forth.
Oh, man.
All right, Matt. Jaws, really nice. I dig it.
No, like I said, I really loved the game growing up, especially the first
Got a
one.
little
It was just-
heartstring, little pluck for
It
you.
was just such a mind blower for me from going from like other games like Kung Fu, where it's just 2D side scroller, and then another 2D side scroller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because it's like it's such an adult movie. where it's like,
Yeah.
I won't let my kids watch the movie, but man, if they want to go hunt sharks, along this rocky coast, yeah, you go get them, kids.
And like I said, just the terror aspect. It was like the first game to really give me a heart attack. Like that little radar. Blam, blam, blam,
Well, I
blam.
mean, it's trying to do what the movie did with like small little like ba dum ba, like and just the increasing. I mean, I think it's really smart.
But I just love that there's no music. It's just, and when there is, it's just like this, just this background nothing that you barely hear, and just hard radar when it gets close. And you're like, oh God, I gotta
All right.
make it to port.
All right. So just to move on a little bit, we got Jaws down. Great.
Yes.
Matt, do you have another one?
I do. Actually, another one I loved growing up back on the NES
Back on the NES?
was the Addams Family, the first one.
Okay.
So you play as Gomez and you're trying to save your family inside and outside of the mansion. And it kind of follows the plot of the first movie. Yeah, exactly the first movie where Fester comes back.
No, it's the second one, right?
No, the second one's where he falls in love with the lady from the first
okay.
one. Or no. No, that second one's where the babysitter shows up and Fester falls in love with her.
Matt, I just want you to know I'm going to believe 100% of what you say about the Addams Family movie plots.
But then she turns out to be an evil black widow, which is somebody who kills their husbands. And when they get married, everybody's like, oh no, they're going to kill Fester.
And that's two, right?
That's two.
That's two.
Family values.
Family values. Got it.
The first one is where Fester is long lost and it's played by
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd. That's right.
Don't come at me with who played it. I just don't remember watching
making
it,
sure
okay?
you're paying attention.
I'm very much paying attention.
But yeah, remember Fester is gone. He went to Bermuda Triangle and he got lost.
Of course he did.
Well, sure.
He had hair before he went in, right?
I think so.
I don't know. I just
Actually, no, I don't think he did. But anyway.
Now, can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah. Oh my, yeah.
Is this when the love affair of Christina Ricci started?
You know, maybe. It might have. I've always loved her as an actress.
Oh yeah, she's great. She's fantastic.
But I think you're right. I think that's when I first like that and Casper. Like,
Because knowing Matt, like just Christina Ricci's
oh,
always been
she's gorgeous. She's
yeah.
wonderful. I love her.
Yeah, and she actually is gonna be on the show next week.
Oh my goodness, what?
She just canceled.
Oh,
It was.
I get it. It's
I tried.
weird times.
I tried. I just sent out at Christina Ricci, and I was like, hey,
Oh, is that all it took?
That's all it took. Yeah.
She's like, oh my God, I'm such a big fan of fan
Twitter's
fiction.
fantastic
Yeah.
now, you know, and then she just was like, no. So,
Dear losers in the basement.
and that's our
Stop
Twitter
tweeting
handle.
me.
That's so crazy. That is our Twitter handle, Losers in the Basement.
Hashtag losers in the basement. Check us out.
Anyways,
Oh, jeez. But yeah, anyway, Fester gets lost in Bermuda Triangle in the movie, and he comes back, and this one lady finds him. Spoiler, like a 50-year spoiler.
50-year-olds.
Is it
50 years
91?
old?
No.
How old do you
Jesus.
think we are, Matt?
I'm sorry, like a 30-year spoiler. Anyway, feels like 50. But this lady finds him, you know, unconscious, doesn't understand, you know, what's amnesia.
Yep.
And she pretty much manipulates him into getting into the Addams Family
so
mansion.
Like, both of the Addams Family movies are
Yeah.
about like manipulating
Fester, yeah.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
I know when you think about it,
He's
yeah.
such a fun guy. He puts a light bulb in his mouth, lights up.
He
Everyone has a
dances
good
the
time.
mamushka.
The mamushka?
You don't remember the mamushka?
Sure I do. Because you're
Their
looking at me.
Cossack cousins danced it
Sure.
in Russia.
Everything you're saying is totally.
Someone needs to
current
rewatch
to
the
me.
movie.
We'll do this after this.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, don't tease.
Oh, we'll
I
do.
love that movie.
We'll do it.
But anyway,
So
she's,
it 2D.
long story short, she manipulates Fester to get to Gomez, to get to the vault. We're all because they are loaded beyond all means.
Okay.
So in this game, they start you out as Gomez, trying to get your family back from Fester and his evil mother and her boy toy.
Sure.
And that you got to collect all the money too, and you have to figure out how to get to the vault. And it's pretty much like a big puzzle slash.
I was gonna say, what type of game is this? 2D
Oh.
platform?
So it's very akin to Metroid.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like a choose your own path with platforming.
Is like the mansion, the big like kind of
Yes. So you
labyrinth
start
that
out
have to get
outside
through?
the mansion, and yeah, it's kind of like a labyrinth. Everything you can go any way you want,
Okay.
but they do give you suggestions, like little hints and
Like,
ideas throughout.
is it one of those like you're too far away, so it's like maybe you check out the
Oh,
kitchen
not
one
even.
more time, dum dum.
I wish they did that, but they don't. What they do,
Unforgiving. I love it.
it's very unforgiving. You have to find out hints by finding the hand,
Oh, okay.
and he points you in a certain direction.
Does he hang out with you the entire time? or
He acts as a shield.
a shield.
He goes around
One
Gomez.
severed hand.
Yeah, and he'll
is
point
a
to a different
full body
yeah.
shield.
Correct.
I love video games.
I know
Oh,
it. The
I love
logic, the
video games
logic's
so
great.
much.
But yeah, you have to find keys and unlock doors, and other family members unlock other areas of the mansion, and
Cool.
it's a really cool and neat game. And if you haven't seen it, just watch a few clips of it. It's amazing.
How long did it take you to beat it? How long is this
Oh,
game?
it took me forever to beat it because it's a pretty hard
what is,
game.
What is forever for you though? Because like
Like
forever for me
years.
is like years.
Well, you got to remember, I would leave and come back to my grandma's
oh, that's
house.
right. Okay.
So I would do a little bit better each time, but then I'd lose all that like muscle memory. So
Sure.
I would just. It's a very unforgiving game.
but like, say I sat you down right now.
If
Put
you
the game
sat
in
me
front of
down
you,
right now with all the knowledge I have, it would probably take me a few days, but I could get it.
It's 6 minutes. I bet like
Oh,
with how
no.
good you are at video games, Matt. Like
I would say at least a couple hours.
I don't think I'd be able to finish a meal by the time you're already done.
Well, the good news is I do remember a lot about it, so I
Sure.
remember kind of where to go pathing wise. So
Oh, but okay. So Jaws and the Addams Family, Matt. These are
I picked some pretty fun
I'm
movies.
genuinely like happy with these two. That's pretty good.
Well, I was going to go with Beetlejuice, but that game is not good.
Okay.
And I have nothing nice to say about it, so I'm not going to say anything about it.
Oh, the nicest thing to say
Yeah.
is nothing at all, which is the exact opposite rule of the internet in general.
I know.
So, hey, and we're on the internet right now, so bonus
What?
points.
Taking the
Oh,
high
look at you.
ground.
Look at you. Are you ready for mine? What time is it right now?
real
How
quick,
much time do you have?
Real quick, shout out to the sequels to the Addams Family games, Fester's Quest.
Okay.
Also a great game. The other ones, meh, they're kind of boring like Zelda copies. But anyway, now I am ready for yours.
Okay. Well,
I am absolutely ready.
If anyone knows me, there is one heart, heartbeat
One
movie
heart piece.
that just makes my life continue on every single day. There's not a day that goes by where I don't think about it. There is not a moment that goes by where it's not deep in the recesses of my memory that affects my actions. And that's Ghostbusters.
I would have never have guessed.
Oh, really? You didn't?
I mean, you only know like the movie verbatim, word for word almost, so I couldn't imagine.
Hey, okay, you didn't have to come to those midnight showings, but how many marshmallows did I win for answering all of the trivia questions right?
Yeah, so we used to go to these midnight showings with like quizzes from like local comic book
Twilight
stores and
Comics.
stuff. Yep, shout out Twilight Comics.
Shout out.
Shout out. But anyway, yeah, Dan would just sweep. It was disgusting how much he knows about Ghostbusters. And if you'd like to challenge him, send all your comments straight to him.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, please. No, I was like, wait,
Please.
do I want to accept this challenge? I do.
Yeah.
I do want to accept this challenge.
I mean, he can pretty much quote any aspect of the movie at any given time.
Yeah, most people don't watch the movie with me anymore because I'm that like say it 3
Yeah.
seconds before the punchline comes out because I know I know it, but
It's like
still-
some weird, beautiful mind moment where like you zone out and your eyes glaze over and you're like, yes, fake man. No, and like whatever, like any phrase that's going to come up 3 seconds early, you're just there.
Yeah.
It's freaky.
Without a doubt. Everyone's got their talents, Matt, and mine just happens to be like regurgitating lyrics from Ghostbusters 1 and 2.
Fair
I'm
enough.
still working on Afterlife, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous, hopefully goodbye movie. I know they just officially greenlit the sequel.
Really? I didn't know that.
December 2023
Snap.
is when it's supposed to come out. And I don't want to get too much into a movie podcast because that's not where we are
Yeah,
necessarily.
no, movie's
but-
bad. No, I'm just kidding.
But season 2. But I really hope this next movie doesn't have Grace McKinnon in it.
Hmm.
I don't want any of the original the cast from Afterlife in this movie.
Oh,
I want that to end. I want them to go on their own life. I think we should continue with the Ecto-1 as it drives into New York. The only Ghostbuster of the original trilogy I want back is Winston
yes.
because the man has the money and I want him to be the founding capitalist kind of like godfather of the new
It just
Ghostbusters.
It fits his character.
Yeah.
Because Winston's my favorite.
Oh,
and I just
ugh.
the everyman. I love it.
If there's a paycheck,
Right.
yeah,
Go ahead,
I
finish
love
it. If there's a
it's
paycheck,
fine,
no,
it's fine.
finish it.
No, you're already staring at me like I
Do
do
it.
it too much.
Do it.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
Do it.
No, it's too late now.
Do it.
I've already said no, Matt. Move on.
it.
Anyways, so 1 and 2, fantastic movies. But we could talk about. There's quite a few Ghostbuster games.
There's
and I know
tons.
Matt can talk to some more than others. The one actually I wanted to bring up isn't the new one that has Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis and Bill Murray and Winston or Ernie Hudson in it.
Audible gasp.
It's actually the Game Boy game.
What?
Yes, I know. It's so stupid.
The Game Boy
I mean,
game.
we'll talk about that one too, but like there's a Game Boy game. And I think it's based off the real Ghostbusters.
I knew I should have read your notes before you
Yeah, I
started
know.
this.
You were like, "Can I see him?" I was like, "No."
No.
But so it's the most ridiculous plot. It's Ghostbusters, right? So at some point you think you should be busting ghosts, but nay, the developers of this game said you basically are in, and the best way I can describe it is like a dig dug type situation where the only thing your like proton stream is good for is blasting holes in the ground to get further down this like labyrinth dungeon to get to the end. Now, you can
Okay.
put bombs out if ghosts are following you.
Well, everybody knows ghosts are allergic to bombs, Dan. That's
Duh,
nothing
like,
new.
It's 101 Ghostbusters.
Come on. Or if you look at them.
But I just remember playing this game, and my parents bought it for me. They knew I was Ghostbusters. Had the original Game Boy, and I was like, I can't wait to just bust all these ghosts.
Buster makes me
And then I'm literally just like shooting blocks downward to fall further.
So
in a
is this
hole.
like, I've never actually heard of this. Is this like a weird Tetris game or what is this?
I'm trying to think of like, so
Dig Dug. Maybe it's like more Dig
I
Dug.
would say it's a little Dig Duggy. But you're Peter Venkman, and
Okay.
I think the plot is that you're trapped in this spooky haunted house, real original, and then like you just have to like you just shoot downward. You can only go down because your blaster only is like this 90-degree angle, and then you
Okay.
shoot down, and then you fall into this hole, and there's stuff here, and there's of course ladders. It's not worth it. Like, please, anyone listening to this, do not go like, oh, there's a Ghostbuster Game Boy game. I can't wait to find. Just save your money.
Also, to speak on not worth it, their NES game, the original one,
Ooh.
not good at all.
Oh no.
It makes no sense, and you have to use ghost food to like bait out ghosts, and the whole
Hey,
like the last half of the game is just walking up them stairwells.
I'm telling you, there's a deleted scene in the movie about ghost food that'll blow your mind.
I really hope
Brings
so
the
because
whole thing together.
without it, man, it makes no sense.
But really, let's talk about the great game. Did
Let's
you
do it.
ever play Ghostbusters the video game, the new one with all the voice actors in it?
I don't think so.
Matt,
I don't think so.
we're friends, and
I know.
you're admitting to me right now you didn't play one of the most amazing games.
What's it? What console is it for?
All of them. All of them.
Is that the one they remade for like Switch and it was like super cartoony?
Okay. So
Which one am
no-
I thinking of?
So yeah, no, it wasn't Switch, it was Wii.
Wii.
So
Is that the same game?
good, no. Basically what had happened is like they came out with the Ghostbusters game, right? And everyone recorded their dialogue, but the Wii couldn't handle the graphics.
Oh.
Because I mean it's motion, I don't say it's motion cap, but like it is full on Dan Aykroyd's face, Bill Murray's face, Harold Ramis'
Gotcha.
face. And the Wii just isn't graphically amazing at that point. It's
That's
more cartoony.
ridiculous.
Oh man. That's bringing it down.
And cut.
And there it is. But like the Wii can't hold that. So they made this overly cartoony, goofy version of the game.
Yeah.
And I never played it. I think the plot would be
Well, no, I
somewhat
skipped
similar.
that one. I played the other one that was the non-cartoony version of
So
that.
you played the real one.
Yes.
Okay, well then you're great.
Oh, is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was making sure. Okay.
There are some scenes or some action sequences in this game that I remember smiling like a freaking idiot. There's a part where you climb up, and it's not the Sedgwick Hotel. It's like a different hotel, I believe, or maybe it's the Sedgwick.
I think it was the Sedgwick.
Is it the Sedgwick? Because I know you go back later.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the one where you start out as the new
Yeah, you're the
rookie,
trainee.
the rookie one. Yeah.
You're no name Magoo.
I do remember you getting this one. I did play the
Oh,
hell out of this one.
oh
It
my
is
God.
majestic.
And you know what? The one thing I realized that made Ghostbusters feel like Ghostbusters is the soundtrack.
oh yeah.
Like there's a part where you're just walking through these and it's like
yeah, they started playing like the original.
and you're just
yeah.
like, oh my god, and like you hear it and you're just instantly teleported back to like the librarian walking through those books in the first movie. And that's why I think Afterlife, the new Ghostbuster movie, did so well, is because they didn't try and put Fallout Boy
Yep.
or all these other and try and make it hip and cool. They're like, no, it's about the ambiance. It's about the feeling of the movies.
They got back to the bare bones of it. Like
Oh.
it's bare bones, a comedy horror.
Oh yeah.
Like you need the suspense, you need the little bits of comedy. Yeah.
But to go back to the one moment in the entire game, and I like, and the one thing the game does that the movies can't is that like you can go into other dimensions and spend all this time, like because the
Yeah.
game goes into like the weird. I'm going to use the word shadow realm, but I know that's more of a Yu-Gi-Oh thing,
Right.
But like Dan Aykroyd as a writer always wants to take it to the next level. Dan Aykroyd has his sights set on like other planets and other dimensions and making hell like manifest with Manhattan. And you can just hear like the studio execs going like, well, that would cost $90 million. And we said you had $2.
Can you
So
dial it back? Our budget's
bring it
really
down.
hurting.
But with the video game, they let his script go as big as you want because with special effects and
Oh, it made it
computer
great.
graphics,
Yeah.
like
I mean,
you could do
everything
whatever
is
you
so
wanted.
memorable about that. Like as soon as you brought it up, I'm like, oh right.
yeah.
Like just all the little things here and there, like the
And the little Easter eggs, like At one point in the game, you can find Ghostbusters on DVD. Like, it's
really? I
one
didn't know
of the
that.
last things you can find. You can find Ghostbusters on DVD in the game.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
That's
I
a
remember
funny
finding it
little-
going like, cool.
Right, like
That's okay.
I didn't even know about it, and that's my
It's
initial
silly,
reaction.
but that's fine. But that's Ghostbusters, taking yourself serious, and then little moments of silliness that like you go like, huh, okay. But going back, the moment is when you're on top of the hotel, and you as the trainee get like pushed over the edge,
yeah.
but they're holding onto you with a rope, and Stay Puff is burning, and he's like climbing up to you, and you have to shoot his little puff monsters. And then, like, you have to blast him in the face, and he's just roaring. I remember, like, the graphics are so good. I was like, God, this is it. This is the moment I've always wanted to be able to be part of the team, to reenact these iconic moments, but, like, a little bit of a spin on, like, to where it feels
They're
original.
iconic, but they're also new. Yeah.
Shout out to Alyssa Milano, who played the love interest in that.
Oh, very true. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Because they didn't get Sigourney Weaver, and they didn't get Rick Moranis. But I think Annie Potts is back as Janine. She's in there.
Why didn't they get the Rick Moranis? Was he on hiatus or something? Or
Don't quote me on this, but I think it's like something with the coding. They were trying to put him in there, but like he would have to be like in a full body cast because they couldn't find a way to put his character in there, and then they just scrapped it. I know that sounds silly, but I remember reading something like that. Like Vigo the painting is just leaning against the wall.
I do remember that.
Because, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, Vigo is a joke. Vigo the
Get out
Carpathian.
right now.
No,
the main villain from Ghostbusters 2.
Vigo the Carpathian is only scary because of the river of slime that New York had generated by itself.
Disagree. That hairline was terrifying.
Carpathian kitten loss, man. But no, it's actually it's in canon. Like if Vigo the painting would have stayed anywhere else and not brought to this like battery of evil power, which is the underground slime. Like Vigo didn't cause the slime.
Right.
The slime was already there. And so he was brought to New York and then fed off of it and then got repowered. If he would have stayed in Carpathia or wherever that painting was for years and years in storage, it would just always be a painting.
Makes me wonder how much slime is under every city now.
What?
Makes me wonder how much slime is under every city now.
Ooh, right now in our political climate, yes.
Probably a lot.
A lot of slime.
Man.
It's a really good time to be a 14th century wizard stuck in a painting because no matter what city you go in, like everyone hates each other.
Pretty much. Yeah.
But that's my heart game to movie to game. So
yeah, I remember a lot of now that I'm back on track of which one it actually was.
Yeah,
because like I said, there's so many incarnations of like Ghostbusters throughout the years, game wise.
A lot of games too.
A lot of games.
There was like a mobile game that I played for a little bit.
I remember that one. Yeah,
but like remember it was what game? Like Pokemon Go. When Pokemon Go came out. And it was like, look, you can look around your world and we'll make random things show up.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
It was huge because then Harry Potter jumped on it.
Oh, a lot of people jumped on that train.
Ghostbusters, I played it for a little bit. You would just be like walking around, all of a sudden your phone would vibrate, like, there's a level 4 class vaporous apparition around.
I knew you were going to throw that out.
I mean, it's the most iconic kind of thing. But like I played it for like a week and I was like, oh, this is kind of garbage though.
Oh no.
Because it's made by like developers who don't care about Ghostbusters. They're just kind of lather, rinse, repeat.
That is always sad when you get developers like that who just don't care too much.
They buy the franchise for the money, not for the love. It happens.
Whereas like Pokemon Go, you could tell they like put a lot of effort into that.
My family still plays Pokemon Go.
I mean, it's a pretty solid
Shout out
game.
to Brooke.
Shout out to Brooke.
I don't think she listens, but
I
hey,
hope
if you are,
find,
Brooke, you go get them.
I hope you find all them Pokemans.
I'm a 150 purist. The second I get one outside of the 150, I'm done.
I am to a degree. I did like the second generation, but after that, it kind of.
I like
150's great.
I like the name Cyndaquil.
Yeah.
I remember going like, okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, like the first 2 generations are kind of where I stopped, and I love them. But the first 150 are always like, chef's kiss, beautiful.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Salt Bay kind of thing with the salt.
Yeah, like love me some Snorlax.
Love me some. So we are getting pretty close, if not already exceeding our break. But I think there's one franchise that we won't spend a lot of time on. He says, hopefully. And Matt, you know what that is?
What is that?
Star Wars, man.
They have games?
A couple.
They have movies?
They have 4. Star Wars has 4 movies, okay?
You had to pause and think.
Star Wars has 4 movies.
Oh, really?
There is A New Hope,
Okay.
Empire Strikes Back,
Never heard of it.
Return of the Jedi,
Sounds weird.
and Rogue One. And those are the only Star Wars movies that have ever been made. There's no
good
Disney
thing-
Plus series. There's nothing else.
Are you sure?
4 movies. And that is
Oh,
all we need
man.
to talk about right now.
Wow. And you know what? For the first 3 of those SNES series, those games are the
Super
ones.
Star Wars.
The Super Star Wars.
Now I had a
Those
Super,
were fun.
I had a Super Nintendo, and I remember we got
Yeah.
Super Star Wars: A New Hope. Have yet to beat it. Though, like again,
Really?
I've said it before. I'll say it again. I say it almost once an episode. I like video games. I'm just not very good at them.
Fair enough.
And so I remember playing Super Star Wars. I don't even think I got out of Tatooine.
Oh my goodness. You didn't get past the land speeder part?
I did. I got past the land speeder part, and then it's the Jawas, like their like giant Jawa thing.
Oh,
What's
the
it called?
Sandcrawler.
Sandcrawler. Thank you. Oh my god, minus 100
Oh,
points.
jeez.
But like,
Please harass him
and then you
later.
have to fight like a lava monster in the very
Correct.
like, and I
The
think,
bowels of the
and I
ship.
got through that, and then you
Yeah.
go to Mos Eisley,
Yes.
and I don't think I ever got past Mos Eisley. I got to play as Chewie,
Yes.
so I got past the Luke part.
So to catch everybody up, these games were like a series of vehicle missions where it was like a first person. You had to jump
like
over
2D
things and dodge.
platformer,
Kinda,
like
yeah.
super jumpy.
But like everything was straight ahead of you, and you had to kind of dodge left and right. The rest of the game was like 2D platform
Yeah.
classic with like,
but you had like different gun upgrades depending on what kind of guns you
or
wanted.
what
like,
character you picked. If you pick Luke, you got to play as a lightsaber.
really?
Like, oh yeah.
See, didn't get
Later
that far.
on, yeah.
Didn't get that far. Again, not very good.
I
And I
mean-
spent hours on this game, Matt. Like
well,
a
because you were
disturbing amount of time.
actually, it's sad that you got to Mos Eisley and didn't finish because in that area you actually get to order a drink
Shut
and
up.
have conversations. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No.
No, I didn't.
I was to say, like, what is this? Okay.
The technology wasn't
But
there.
I remember there was like a giant like robot ship that I would
Yes.
fight. And that's I died to that thing every time. And I was
They
like, I'm
kind of
out.
went a little weird with like, we'll just throw this in as a boss, even though it wasn't part of the movie type
I
thing.
was
Like,
like, I'm just supposed to escape in the Millennium Falcon. Okay, I got
they
here.
kind of deviated from the source material a little bit, but it was fine.
Bunch
it,
of
it did what it
jerks.
needed to.
All right. Well, I mean, we could talk about Battlefront. We could talk about all these other games.
Right. And, you know, I mean, Battlefront real quick, 2 is just the pinnacle of awesome.
2 is great.
There's nothing like playing as a grunt of your choice and just
Oh.
mowing down others.
You know,
Hashtag Dynasty Warriors is awesome too.
just, we went this far
Similar.
without saying Dynasty
Very
Warriors.
similar concept.
No, you know what? The moment I knew Battlefront 2 was stellar was you're playing as a stormtrooper, you're going through all these things. That's fine. When you then play as playing as a clone trooper, because it starts out with you
Right.
as a clone trooper if you're playing the story mode, and then you play as a stormtrooper storming the Tantive 4.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is so great. And then I realized that like, you're like, and the door opens and you're dead immediately because all of these like rebel soldiers are like just instantly
so-
firing and throwing grenades. And you're just like, oh yeah.
I kind of
lot of
had a
people
similar
died
thing. I was like, I remember this part in the movie, and I'm like, oh wait,
Oh, no.
we're not in the good position.
Are we the bad guys?
Well, it's kind of like if you played a game about World War II and you're like, we're gonna storm the beach, guys. Like,
Or you're like, we have to stop these guys from storming the beach. You're like, oh no.
oh no,
I don't want to be on this side of the game. But you know, Battlefront 2, and we've talked about, I think in the last episode,
right.
about how like I got War Hero after War Hero. That was the
Oh,
one
yeah.
game that like muscle memory took over.
Brilliant game,
Loved
brilliant
him.
series.
Loved him. Except for
also-
the air combat.
Yeah. Oh, see, I like the
Dumb.
air combat. I like just being a little shooting and jumping on ships. and-
Nope. I just jumped on ships. We talked like, remember,
Oh yeah.
this is what we would do for the Jack and Daxter
That's
last
right.
episode. It's like I would just get in whatever into their base and then blow everything up. Like I don't think I've ever
You're
blown
like a
up.
virus.
I never dog fought.
I did.
Fighted.
Dog fighted.
Dog.
Dog fight.
You get what I'm saying.
We'll fix it in post.
Fix it in post. All right. Well, Matt, I think we got to go to a break.
Oh yeah, no, it is break time.
It is break time. As he just looked at his wrist with no watch on it whatsoever.
There could be one. You can't see from there.
They can't see anything.
I'm gonna turn off this light so you can't see anything over here.
No, and it's so dark in here if you do.
It is really dark in this basement.
All right, friends. We'll see you in 30.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey,
Hey, this is TC.
And this is Jim from the Studio Demands It podcast,
Where every episode we take a demand from a hypothetical studio,
which could be you,
and challenge ourselves to conceptualize, pitch, and craft a film based on the stipulations
or the demands
we are given. We talk about movies all the time. Particularly, we complain about the choices made in the films we've seen.
We're nerds like that.
And, of course, like any good nerd does, we automatically assume that we could do better.
Even with the demands and restrictions that clearly must have been put on by a production.
So head on over to studiodemandsit.com and listen to our previous library of episodes. Our library of previous episodes.
Our precious library, Jim. Our library of precious episodes.
You're a pirate, Smeagol.
Okay, so head on over to studiodemandsit.com to listen to our library of episodes.
And submit your demand for a future episode, too.
So go do that.
Okay, bye.
Okay, end of ad.
Coming this summer to a what's a
Coming this summer,
no,
the most critically acclaimed
what's a
superhero
what's
movie.
what's a really streaming like
Oh,
like coming this summer to your local Paramount Plus. Or just like what's
Coming
the
this
worst?
summer to Paramount
Coming this
Plus.
summer to the premium platinum.
Premium Platinum Super Plus Paramount Plus Plus
HBO Plus Max 9
/ Paramount
backslash
hashtag Hulu.
Okay. Okay, so what are the lines? They don't
The
even have to
Bat
make sense.
Frog.
So the frog goes. What's Kermit go? Or should we start with Fozzie?
start with Fozzie.
Be like,
I'm gonna stop you, Joker.
Do you want to know how I got these these jokes? Waka
mean,
waka.
Kinda.
I think as long as you say waka waka waka, no matter how bad the
Waka,
impression
waka,
is,
waka.
like they're gonna be like, oh, it's Fozzie.
Hey there, podcast listeners. I am David,
And I'm Kate.
and together we host a podcast that you might be interested in if you like The Legend of Zelda.
There are lots of awesome podcasts out there and a lot of awesome Zelda podcasts out there.
That's right, Kate, and we are another one of them. In fact, that is the name of our show, Another Zelda Podcast.
And in our show in particular, we talk about some of our favorite dungeons, characters, boss battles. We do a couple top 10 lists here and there.
We have some deep dive episodes, and we even pepper in a couple quiz episodes.
We talk about our own experiences. We do some review episodes, talk about our challenges, our struggles, and our victories.
That's right. If it has to do with The Legend of Zelda, we talk about it.
You can check out our episodes on our website, anotherzeldapodcast.com.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and a lot of the other podcast services that are out there.
And you can also check out our episodes on our website, anotherzeldapodcast.com.
All right, we will see you there.
Okay, bye.
I love this town. It's Miller time. Winston has like
Yeah,
some
we're all
amazing-
gods.
Yeah. If somebody asks you if you're a god, you say yes. God, I love that movie.
Yeah, we're all gods.
Guess what movie I'm watching tonight? Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome, welcome.
Matt, I just want to say your hair looks fantastic.
Thank you. I know I've been playing with it ever since you
look
left.
like a drunken, happy cockatoo in the best way possible.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
No, it's a compliment. Yeah. You
It's
look
very
like
Muppety,
you look like an anime character who's having a great time.
which is none of the protagonists from any of those series.
Yeah. If you're in an anime and
You're a protagonist, you're not having a good time. Yeah.
Okay, so as everyone knows at this point, this is where we kind of make stuff up as we go along now.
Sure.
Okay.
And we're going to, so we've kind of praised some movie franchises that turned into games. And now I feel like we need to really find some movies that we love that didn't get a game and deserve one.
Absolutely. Or if they did get one, didn't get the real game they
Yeah,
deserve. Because
right.
unfortunately for mine, didn't realize it had games and
What?
even found out there was a game released in 2019, which I'm not super proud of, but that just shows how much research I do, which is zero.
And
So,
I had to point it out to
he
him.
did. It was kind of embarrassing.
I was like, excuse me, Dad, that's already a game.
I know. Ugh, I'm so mad at you right now. But so we want to take some movies and make some cool games. Matt, you want to go first or should I?
How many do you have? I have 2 ready.
I only
have 2 in the
one,
cannon ready to
but
shoot.
I'm sure I could make some up as we go along. Mine is '80s movie.
Okay.
It's called Clue.
Get Out.
I think it would be a great game. It doesn't even have to be a video game. I think really it screams 2D board game.
I feel like there's a lot you could do with Clue.
Yeah,
honestly. The minute you said it, I was like, you know what?
Time and time again, I think this could be a family favorite. Don't know why, but
I'm even thinking you do like a Phoenix Wright type game.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that series, Dan? It's where you
Objection.
Play you play
I
as.
think I only know.
For those of you who don't know Phoenix Wright, Phoenix Wright's like a lawyer-based game where you play as a lawyer, and your job is to either defend or prosecute and whatnot.
Hold on, I'm being silly because Clue is already a game. Like we don't have to go on this whole bit. Like mine was just a joke. I have a different one.
I got excited because I was like, you can go around the house and objection, you've killed them, and like you could accuse people and go around.
I like where this is going. Though.
Like
we
a little
can keep
murder
going
mystery.
on this. Like I'm fine with it.
Actually, it'd be kind of more like L.A. Noire almost.
Oh yeah, it'd have to be an L.A.
where you can
Noire.
interrogate different guests and bring them to different rooms.
What game? What style of game would that be though? Or no, I would do like, what if we do? You ever play the Resident Evil Biohazard?
Oh yeah,
where you're creeping around a house and like sometimes you stumble onto things. So it's what's that, first person where you just have your hands.
Yeah,
and then sometimes you got the candlestick. Sometimes you got the lead pipe. Depending, and like every single time you start the game, it's something new, which I find is you
find a different dead house guest.
But like that's kind of a new thing in games where it's like
kinda,
constantly replayable. Where like, you figure out new things or like the game randomly generates something or other. I think they're really just trying to push the replayability of these games.
Sure.
Now, but I think Clue, if you have a random generated intro, each time the killer is somebody completely different and your job is, half an hour.
So you play as Tim Curry and you run around with your hands in front of you.
You're always the butler. If I started playing this game and I wasn't the butler, I'm not playing this game.
Well, then I'm accusing the butler if I'm not the butler because it's always the butler.
It is always the butler. But that's why you have to be the butler. But what if you are the killers?
Now you're getting into some Silent Hill territory, friendo.
Let's do it. Anyways, I'm glad we stayed on this. I think that would work. But
anyway, let's get to your real one.
Here's my real pitch.
That was just funsies.
Here's my real pitch. So I want to make a video game based off of Labyrinth.
Oh.
The Jim Henson 1980s, 70s? 80s,
no,
70s?
I think it was 80s.
80s.
Very dear to me and close to my heart.
Yep. And you're kind of the inspiration for me thinking about this.
Stop.
Because, Matt, you're just so fantastic.
And I'm hoping a goblin would kidnap me.
He says that on a daily basis. It's almost annoying how often he just is like, God, I wish goblins would
I just stare in the mirror and go, Goblin kid, come get me.
No, I've seen him do it. Like, he gets real drunk and just like, I'm like, Matt, it's not real. And he goes, no, Dad, no.
David, come.
Real.
David Bowie, where are you?
If it's not real, nothing matters. And they have to drag him off away. And it's a whole thing.
But Dan, so Didymus talked to me. He really did.
That's your dog and it's not talking. Anyway.
You can't ride him.
Anyways, but I want, and I'm not sure, I haven't really fully thought this out, if I want it to be the original plot of the game or if I want it to be a continuation, maybe like Jennifer Connelly's
I think
kid.
I'd prefer continuation, if anything.
Sure, I think so, because Goblin King's he doesn't die at the end, does he?
No, they just kind of leave it open. He just turns into an owl and flies away, and you're like, wait, what?
I'll see you in the sequel.
Bye, Sarah.
And the entire time he's just been jamming with Mick Jagger, dancing in the street the entire. So many music references. I love it. So no, I want to do a continuation then. Let's just make it her kid. She grows up, has a kid, and like David Bowie is still obsessed with her, has been watching her through the creepy
through the looking glass.
The three little if you can't see him doing that hand thing.
The
where
crystal
you have
balls.
3 crystal balls in his hand.
Actually, do you know how they perform that in the movie?
Yeah, it's not his hand because he couldn't do it, so it's like some magician.
It's a professional juggler magician. Yeah, I thought it was neat.
A professional ball juggler.
We're gonna get censored for that one.
PG-13.
Keep it legit, Dan.
No, okay, but honestly, I want this game to be, and I think the best way to describe it is I want it to be God of War.
What?
Yeah, just wait.
Okay.
Because I want the scale of God of War. I want the characters of God of War. I just
pictured you immediately just throwing an axe into David Bowie's head.
I don't need the gore necessarily. But I want like just the grand scale, like treasure rooms, like on a boat, a bog of eternal stench.
Sure.
Like
you want kind of like that big sandbox map.
I want Epididymus to come help us out.
Sir Didymus. Epididymus?
Yeah.
Go watch that movie.
It's a Ghostbuster reference.
Is it?
Girls
Oh,
only dig me for my epididymis.
Oh well, I got egg
Everyone go look that joke up.
I got egg on my
you,
face.
I promise you it'll make you laugh if you don't know what the epididymis is. But so like I want the scale, the grandiose kind of feel, open sandbox of God of War where anything can happen, because Jim Henson, what he created in the Labyrinth was amazing. Like,
right.
But he had to create it all by hand because that's the magic of Jim Henson. But like in the digital world, like what if you said, Jim Henson, whatever your mind can think of can be real. You don't have to have puppets. You don't have to have this. Like,
what do you mean you don't have to have puppets, Dan? I don't have any parents. Oh,
see,
Jim's dead. No,
because he's Batman. I get it. Okay. That was pretty good.
Right? And that could have been Jim Henson or Jim Gordon. So
it's fine.
He's dead, Jim.
I digress.
But I want this game to be God of War meets Heavy Rain. No, I'm not kidding, because I think something about the Labyrinth that a lot of people overlook is it's a fairly heavy movie.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we have like puppets and silly moments, but like scary things happen.
Like child abduction.
And honestly, if you're a young kid, this movie's terrifying. The part where she falls down the well and the hands.
She chose down.
Yeah, they do all the, and you're just like, oh my, it's so jarring. But like, and I know we use the term choose your own adventure a lot.
Sure.
But I think we really want to have open-ended adventure.
And Dan, why don't you explain Heavy Rain to us real quick?
Man.
For those of us unsullied.
Heavy Rain was a PlayStation 4? 3 or 4 game. Is one of the most unique games I've ever played.
That is a way to put it, yeah.
And I know you're not the biggest fan of
it's
it,
okay.
Matthew. It defined the genre. It
I'll give
really
it that.
was an original step.
I'll give it that.
In video games. Like if it wasn't for that, LA Noire wouldn't be around.
That's
Detroit
true.
Humans wouldn't be around. I mean, so what it lacks on like, the regular kind of viewed action of video games, you're living a drama. You're playing a dramatic movie is what it is. And so you have actions like follow this person, follow that person. Do you think this person's lying? Do you think that person's lying?
Kind of feels like Mafia a little bit too.
A little bit, but I think less action. Like,
oh sure, less action, but like Mafia also kind of had those drama elements.
Yeah,
to
but
it.
it gets in your head. Like it's saying, do you believe this person is telling the truth or not? And then the rest of the game plays out. I mean, it has numerous replayability. Thank you.
There you go.
It has numerous replayability.
The light went off in his brain. I saw it.
Yeah,
I
I shut down. There
I changed
for a couple
the bulb.
seconds. I was just learning too low. But what I want from that game is decision making skills, because I don't want the decision making skills from Mass Effect, because we all know it didn't come to anything.
Yeah,
like,
the end fruition of all of it was kind of
it kind of ended up in a little bit of a grandiose fart noise is I think the best way to describe it. But I think the open-endedness and the decision-making skills of like a Heavy Rain game, the weight of it all meets the grandiose scale of a God of War type game. So you can have all of these Jim Henson creatures live in the scale that they deserve.
Yeah.
I that game would be a pre-order for me right off the bat. Especially
I would drop easily $60 on that.
And I think you and I both agree, if Henson's name isn't on it, I'm out though.
Oh yeah.
Like I need the Henson company.
If they're not using the sketchbook from the movie and all that was based on and all that, like no, I'm out.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean,
you got to stay true to the roots of the movie.
How'd you feel about the new Dark Crystal? Like the Netflix series.
It's okay. Like it does what it needs to in some parts, and other parts you're like, okay, kind of wrap it up.
Do you know, honestly,
it's okay.
Not to poop up on it. You know why I think I never really got into it?
Why's that?
Because it's creepy.
It is a little creepy.
I don't like what the puppets look like. They are
I love that's the part I love.
Really? I like
the Skeksis look so good.
No. Skeksis are 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the Skeksis.
Oh, really?
I'm talking about the regular old like gnome people. What are they called?
Gnome people.
Like just the average Dark Crystal person.
Oh, the Gelflings.
The Gelfling, thank you. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I blacked out for like, Gelfling?
Yeah. But like every time I see them, I'm just like, oh, I don't care for you. Like,
They're all right.
And their mouths never really match up because like their mouths are only like 1 inch by 1 inch.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just this weird kind of up and down thing. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
It's all right. Like I said, overall, it's okay. If you love Dark Crystal, you're gonna probably like that a lot. But
Sure.
if you just liked Dark Crystal, it's okay.
But
it's worth a one time and done.
Yeah, I think that's why I watched it, just because I wanted Henson to have my views.
Right.
And for a while I was like, well, I'm not really enjoying this, but like I still want them to think I'm enjoying it because I want Jim Henson and the Henson
I will say I
Company.
loved every aspect of the Skeksis when they were on screen.
Skeksis.
The villain's like the only reason
I
you
would
really
watch
watched it. Yeah.
If Skeksis has their own show,
Yeah,
I'd watch
hands
that
down.
every day. Like
Easy.
they had the better voice actors too.
Oh yeah.
That's
all the evil
a
stuff.
horse, but still, you know what I mean.
Yeah, you went BoJack on
A
me.
little bit. But that's the game, and
I
like,
like it.
I want it to be the plot, and I guess David Bowie can't really voice the character.
Oh, way to
anymore.
break my heart.
I know. I didn't want to bring it up in the beginning,
Oh,
but
man,
I mean,
so sad.
what if we have what if we have the guy who did the crab voice for Moana, Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords? He does a pretty good Bowie impression.
You know, now that I think about it, he probably could.
Like if you told him like
The giant monster from Moana. Yeah, he could
don't-
probably do it.
Don't goof it up.
Right.
Take it seriously. Like maybe get him even a voice acting coach. I think this could work.
Or the guy who did it for the Venture Brothers cartoon as Sovereign.
As Sovereign, yeah,
He
sure.
did a good Bowie.
He did a good Bowie. I'm just saying
There's people out
there's
there.
people out there who could do a good Bowie.
Man, so sad.
I mean, and like you could recapture all the like iconic like the stairway scene.
Yeah.
Imagine having to try and actually climb the stairs. And that's its own like kind of puzzle.
You keep running up and you
Yeah.
fall on your head.
I don't know. I really Dance Magic Dance.
There'd be a
like-
ton of puzzles in that game.
Like I think this game could work so well. Like especially with how like Horizon Zero Dawn is.
Oh sure.
Kind of that mentality, like that
Yeah.
kind of viewpoints. I would.
I'd pre-order the hell out of that.
Did I do good?
I think so.
Did I do good?
You got me excited.
As long as I get Matt excited, that's
I'm
all
down.
that really
I'm
matters.
super down for
Story
that.
of my life.
I would love it.
If Matt's excited, I'm excited.
Like I say, as long as it's a continuation to the story,
Sure.
because I don't need a reiteration of what I saw. But
Yeah.
yeah, continuation, done.
I mean, we could even get Jennifer Connelly in this. It's not like she's doing anything else.
I think she'd
no
probably love
offense,
to.
Jennifer Connelly, but I haven't seen you in a while.
She's an amazing
We miss
actress.
you. Please come back.
I know.
That's where this is going.
Agreed. We miss you. Come
we
back.
miss you. Please come back.
You're an amazing actress. Come back.
Just don't come back at like Dark Water 2. Like come back at something. come back at something like substantial. Okay, like. So okay. Anyways,
You're better than that.
You're better than that. Even when I was watching Dark Water, I was like, "What is she doing?
What is she doing
this?
in here? She's wasting her talent.
Come on, you were in Waking the Dead. Like that movie's one of my favorites of all time. Like, and the water's bad. Like, oh no, Jennifer
Great
Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly.
Thank you. She was gonna be in the intro.
Oh, was she?
But I was like,
couldn't make it.
She couldn't make it. She couldn't make it.
Oh,
She's
my
got bills
goodness.
to pay. So that's my game. Like it or not,
No.
I want to make that game.
I think I'm in the camp of like it.
Okay.
I definitely am.
And think about like, and not to go too far.
No,
on
go
this,
ahead.
But like the voice actors that we could get for this.
Oh yeah.
Like
Well, besides Elmo's voice actor,
Tim Sale.
Yeah.
He's still the Elmo.
Is he?
I think so.
Oh.
I think, and I don't want to get into it, but I think he was found like I think, and somebody like is gonna comment and be like, no, he wasn't. I think he was found innocent on like
I can't
moral
remember at
charges.
this point. I just remember he was a voice for one of the fire creature members
Yeah.
in that Chili Down song.
But like the two lying guys, the two lying dogs who guard
One of
the
us
door.
tells the truth, and
Like-
one of us always
like
lies.
and just the riddle, and I love riddles in games.
Oh yeah.
And just one of those, like you put the controller down and you got to think about what's going on here for a second. Like, no hardcore action where just spamming the X button's going to get you through.
Right.
Use your brain, think about what's happening.
Think for a second.
And then if you
Don't
choose wrong, congratulations. That's another route where you're going to have to like deal with some other shenanigans.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
All right. And that end scene is the game. That's the game I want to pitch.
I think it's wonderful.
That's the game I want to play.
I think Jim Henson would be appreciative that you
Oh, Matt, you
would
say
let
the
him-
nicest things.
would let him have a playground of digital.
He's like, but I like fabrics and furs, Dan.
Can I please have my fabrics and furs?
And with every pre-order, you get a free Jim Henson puppet.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
I mean, I'd get 2.
But that's it, just 2.
Or as Zoidberg would say, I'll take 8.
I'll take 8.
As for me, I went a completely different route. I didn't choose like an old, like Jim Henson movie. I chose a more recent film, There Will Be Blood.
Okay, slow it down. You want to make a video game based off There Will Be Blood.
It's not that I want to
starring-
make one, Dan. It deserves a video game.
Okay.
Starring Daniel
Wait,
Day-Lewis in one of the most iconic roles.
Hold on. I am in the CEO chair. Pitch.
Daniel Day-Lewis in one of his most iconic roles as an oil man. And the whole premise of the game is, I'm sure a lot of you remember the Oregon Trail. And for those of you who don't,
Shut up.
It's an old DOS game.
Shut.
Where you had to play as a
all the way up, Matt.
You had to play as a family going from one end of the American country west to the other, to the state of Oregon to start anew.
You want There Will Be Blood in the vein of an Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Pitch it.
I want the game to start out with like you in your little shop and somebody comes up, I have oil on my land, and you have to make it to the said land. It doesn't have to be exactly where it was in the movie. It could be anywhere in the United States at that point in time.
Sure.
And you have to purchase supplies. You have to grab your son out of his box.
Wait. So if we're gonna do this, and I'm sorry to like get out of the CEO chair,
Daniel Plainview.
Wait. It's gotta start out like the movie starts out, where to get to your shop, you have to like crawl 50 miles or something like that.
And there's no sound for the first hour of the game.
There's no sound.
You have to crawl back to your shop.
Or at times you have to play as the deaf boy.
That'd be great. Actually, you could do a lot with like a
I'm
deaf
just telling you,
character.
Like, we're joking about this, but man,
No, that's
I'm
actually
intrigued.
genius.
I am intrigued. And then the whole capitalist expansion and growth of your like oil field that you're
Actually, you're giving me some extra ideas I didn't write down or think about. Like, essentially Oregon Trail, where like you have to like get supplies, go to an area and survive on the way there.
Sure.
But also, that's a good point. There could be like some other parts of the missions or modes of the game where you have to play as the child, and like a Daredevil type death thing where like you have to kind of like just sound is gone and things are moving around you, explosions are going off.
Which is the opposite of Daredevil, by the way.
Well, you know what I mean.
I know.
Like,
I'm just like, what if we're
then
Daredevil,
he
but he
fights
can't hear
crime?
nothing? That's just a person. Like, that's
But you could cut to like
blind
that and do
deaf person.
The possibilities with the deaf character are all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Like,
well, what
that's
console?
amazing.
Because I think for mine, I clearly want to be the newest console possible. Like
I was thinking
PlayStation 5.
stick to DOS. I want the crappy graphics.
Oh yeah, okay. how is that going to work?
I don't know.
Like he's deaf, so like all the text boxes are just blank.
You nailed it.
You just click things on the store and just like shrug.
And that's the noise you get. Because remember, most old timey games have that for dialogue. Also, no, I like the other aspect you brought up too.
This is terrible.
No, it's great. So originally, I was thinking like the final boss battle could be like the preacher, and you're throwing bowling balls at him.
Oh, wait. Yes. Not to interrupt, but
You have
like
to fight at church.
So wait. So like, do you know how in like Street Fighter randomly had to beat up a car?
Yeah.
And it was like a button mashing skill. What if like randomly is like, yo, Daniel Plainview, drink this milkshake, and you have to hit X as fast as possible, and it's like him going like,
yes,
I drink your milkshake, and like depending on how many like,
well, that's
you
going
just
in the
see that,
game.
like the milkshake get lower. It's like,
Oh, that's
drank
perfect.
3/4 of the milkshake.
And then, like you said, I love what you said too about like the capitalist thing. You could do like a railroad tycoon shit.
Yeah, that's what I was
and
thinking.
just, like build your whole economy around your oil, and like, oh, I gotta ship off the oil. Time to build the train.
But like also, and I'm sorry that I'm fleshing this out so much, but like you could learn about geology
please
in
do.
here. Because
Yeah.
like the crazy thing is like how like at the ending of the movie, it reveals that like, oh, like just because you tap in here on your land, if it's a big enough oil reserve, if I tap over here in the same oil reserve, we're both like whoever gets the most gets the most.
Hence the milkshake.
Yeah, and so like it'd be crazy if you could do like geological studies and surveys, be like, we have to like
why
we have
not?
to pump up our production over here, so we screw over, like this person over
Do you
here.
see the
and
possibilities with this movie?
It almost turns into a Civ game.
Kind of does.
We're joking about this.
It's
but
like a mini Civilization
this turns
game.
into a little like not a world Civ, but like a Oregon Trail Civ You get there, you stake your land, do a geological survey, which I don't know if they even had those back in the day.
You're going to have to stop. My heart rate is getting too high.
Then it's like it's just pure capitalism. Like it's all about making the money.
I would spend days of my life on this. Just playing.
It's just called capitalism. It's just capitalism, the game.
Capitalism, oil edition.
Oil edition, yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm down for this.
Oh man, I'm super excited for this now.
Ugh. Especially if like you got to like the early versions of like your character, and when you're like a lower level getting there, like you have to work the minefield. You have to like and think about like, and I don't know why I'm so keen on this, but the educational part of this, like you'll learn how mines work.
Sure.
Like you have to like, you know, like
put the canary down in the hole.
Set up the first like back and forth kind of thing, and
put
then
the wooden beams up so nothing collapses on you.
Yeah.
I forget the actual name of it, but
oh man, I'm down. This is good. This is a joke that I would play.
Oh, I would,
especially if Daniel Day-Lewis did all the voice.
What do you mean joke? I'm serious.
I was always serious about this.
I was always serious. Actually, I do have a joke one if you want to hear it.
Oh god,
because we fleshed that one out
here's
really
the challenge. I'm gonna listen to your joke one, and I'm gonna try and flesh it out.
Really?
I'm gonna try. Bring it. Okay.
Dan, are you familiar with the movie Fried Green Tomatoes?
No.
Good luck then.
Okay.
So,
is it a cooking show?
No, it's
no. I'm aware of it. I know it's like like from the 80s.
Right. Kathy Bates.
It's like a drama, right?
Yes.
Like it's
hardcore
not. It's
drama.
not a super happy one.
Oh no, it's a sad movie.
It's like Sophie's Choice, right? Like things don't
Kinda,
turn out so great.
So like
you're gonna make this a video game. God. Wait. Is it Fried Green Tomatoes only? It's like one of those chef games where like
yes, actually that's where it's gonna go.
Up, and then so you have to like, pass it over.
So I want to make it like Cooking Mama, where like it kind of teaches you the recipes as you go, except for the sauce. Because if you know the movie,
I don't.
Oh, don't want to spoil it.
What's the sauce?
We don't talk about what's in the sauce, Dan.
I don't think that's whispered in the movie, is it?
It could be tomatoes. It could be pasta. It could be a dead husband.
They cook a dead husband.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
They turn straight up Soylent Green in this?
Maybe.
Look, if you tell me there's cannibalism, I'm going to go rent that movie right
now. Maybe.
Okay. So you want Fried Green Tomatoes, the video game?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good little like restaurant tour type game where like it's because the movie's based around like these two ladies having like sad stories and like terrible marriages and stuff, and like I guess like secret love interests with each other.
Have you seen the movie?
Long time ago.
Okay.
It was one of my mother's favorites. And like
I think it's all of our mom's favorites.
Probably.
I think a lot of our mothers all love that movie.
It's just one of those like if I saw this game on a shelf, I'd be like, why did they ever make a Fried Green Tomatoes
I'd be like, well, we
game?
have to play it.
Yeah, right.
Like,
it's one of those things that's like, fine, I'll play it once.
Sure.
But then you get it and it's like this happy, upbeat, like Cooking Mama where it's like, I'm going to teach you a recipe.
Wait.
And then you mix it with like a restaurant aspect. Like
So just so I can think of it and visualize it, what system, what platform?
You know, honestly, maybe Wii.
Wii?
Yeah, maybe like some sort of, I feel handheld for some reason.
I was thinking like Super Nintendo. I feel like just the nice flips and, you know.
I think I'm fine with that. Like I feel like SNES or like a handheld.
SNES.
That's the fancy way of saying Super.
What other
Nintendo Entertainment System?
You know, and I'm sure there's a game. And not to get back on the right. I like Starship Troopers as a Dynasty Warriors game. I'm bringing up Dynasty Warriors because remember it's floods of those bug things.
Oh yeah.
I always thought Starship Troopers could be a really, really fun,
or kind of like Metal Slug, where it was like a 2D shooter where you just constantly like had waves and you.
I will never endorse a 2D game. I'm bad at them. Like all my games are games that I'm gonna be at least good at.
You don't like any Castlevania. You don't like.
I just know what I'm bad at, and I avoid it at all costs.
Also, there is cannibalism in the movie Fried Green Tomatoes.
Spoiler alert, shut up. I'm excited. I may have to watch this movie. But
it's got Kathy Bates.
As I say, if all else fails, Kathy Bates.
She's good.
I remember there was a Titanic game and it was like a murder mystery.
I do not remember that.
Oh, remember? it was for PC, and like you were like a spy on the Titanic, and you had to go through and you had to like figure out who murdered who, and there's a time limit. But you had to like and still find a way to get on the boat, because if you don't, then none of this mattered at all.
I was gonna say none of this matters anyway, because
I think it was called like Murder on the Titanic, and I was like, but I remember like reading the title, going like, well, there were a lot of murders on the Titanic.
By nature,
you have to be a lot more specific on this.
Wow, it was the captain the whole time.
The iceberg's just holding a knife behind its back, like laughing. Like it didn't actually hit it; just stabbed the side of the Titanic a bunch of times. The iceberg did it.
The North remembers.
Oh God.
Or for the watch.
Hey, no. Well, no, I guess.
What are you gonna do?
No, like, we're this episode.
I see the lightning bolts going off in your head right now.
This is a long one.
That hamster's spinning hard.
Did you play the Game of Thrones?
The Telltale games?
Yes.
Oh, they are fantastic.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Just a real solid gold game, because like I remember playing, going like, this sucks. I can't believe they're making me choose this. Seems about right. Like, I'm terribly upset on the decisions placed in front of me.
Do you know what game? So those games were very like, you have to just make decisions based on the text, and sometimes on your skill with different things, but like combat and whatnot. But mainly it was a text-based game where you got to choose your own path, kind of choose your own adventure again. However, do you know what movie would go great with that?
If you say Steel Magnolias or like something like that.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
God damn it, Matt. No. You know what would be great?
But you got to play as Boo Radley.
You know what would be great for a choose your own adventure? Schindler's List. like there's a lot of really bad jokes that we could make through here. Or you'd be like,
what's a really dull movie that would
I was like, or like a text-based game where you're playing as the neighbors from Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, geez.
And you're tired until your entire thing is just to gaslight this poor woman. Like, no, you're fine.
You're fine. What's wrong with you? Yeah, all kids that age do that.
You didn't have a dream about a demon. You're crazy.
You're crazy, Rosemary.
Anyways.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Like just the small little like lull where we both have to process that.
I know. Like I feel like we went too far.
Yeah. Well,
but it was funny.
It hits.
But yeah, no.
We're gonna list this tomorrow and be like, we should really.
We gotta delete this last part because
it's like it was all funny until Schindler's List was dropped.
Darkest sketch.
But we're finishing up.
All right. Well, I think we nailed it though.
Tail end of it.
Like I said, I would love your Labyrinth game.
Yeah.
And I would love my There Will Be Blood game.
I'm telling you, I think that's the real treasure here.
I think they're both. I love
the treasure here. Mine would cost like $9 million and take 5 years to create.
It'd be like 2 floppy disks and good luck.
Comes in a good old fashioned zip drive.
In Technicolor.
Listen to the soundtrack on Betamax.
Half of it's just silence.
So what did we learn from today?
I think we learned.
What's the lesson?
I've learned that we always need more Muppets, no matter what we do. That's always a good one.
Keep Henson employed.
Never trust any homemade sauce that's made by disgruntled women.
Sure. And if somebody asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
You always say yes.
You always say yes.
Always. Always say yes if asked if you're a god.
There it is. All right. Matt, you want to send us off?
I think I do. With a song.
With a song?
By David Bowie.
Uh-oh. Oh, this is nice.
It's only forever. That's not long at all. Lost and lonely.
This is gorgeous.
You don't remember that from Labyrinth?
I'm just appreciating the moment. I remember it. I'm just like being serenaded by you. This is great.
Do you remember the end of that movie when like all the puppets started dancing in a room and I was like, did you guys just have can you do this at any point and just show up there?
Yeah.
Like, were you never trapped in that labyrinth?
Matt, if we really try and boil down the rules of the labyrinth,
you're right.
That's a whole nother episode.
I probably should. It's magic.
It's dance, magic, dance, man.
It's dance magic.
Dance, magic, dance.
All you had to do was dance and move your happy feet, and you can go wherever your heart wants.
Story of my life. Alrighty, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this. We have a brand new episode airing in 2 weeks. Please be there.
2 weeks.
click like, click all the buttons.
Punch the subscribe and hit the downloads.
And I know we say it again, and every podcast says this 1,000 times, but please comment thoughts, feelings, and emotions.
Remember, any comment that makes us smile, positive or negative.
Hey, we still have the competition.
That's right.
Yeah.
There will be a prize.
There will be a prize. It's a haiku.
It's for the season finales when we'll announce the winner.
Dun, 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 dun. And
my goodness.
Our discussions have, I think I'm pretty happy about what we've kind of decided about our season finale.
I believe so too.
I think it's...
But we won't divulge that now.
No, it's secrets.
Divulge? Divulge.
I'm not going to...
Something like that. Anyway.
Your hair is like in a whole new level of amazing.
I got to quit touching it.
You're doing great. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Miss you already.
Aw.